Hey everyone, Dan at Ochika Bushcraft. Well, today I'm going to show you guys how to make a dingle stick. A dingle stick, you're probably saying, what the heck's a dingle stick? Well, this right behind me here, this setup is a dingle stick. So I've got one already made here by the fire to cook with. This thing is one of the simplest yet most efficient things that you can make to cook over fire with. And we'll go make one over here on a stump here in a couple minutes, but I've got one already set up by the fire to just start out by showing you. Basically, all you need is a Y stick hammered into the ground. This is a piece of willow. And you cut a notch down towards the bottom to tie some cordage on. And then you need another stick. Again, on one end, this stick's probably a little over 2 feet long. One end I've carved around so I have a good place to tie my cordage, and at the upper end I've made a notch all the way around. You can 7-notch, whatever's fine, to hang a pot from. What's cool about this setup is it allows you to adjust your height. So if I need my pot to be closer to the flames, all I do is simply move this forward, and as I do, it drops my pot closer to the flames. And if I need to raise it up because my flames are too high, I've added some wood to the fire, I just pull this back and my pot is raised. And when I'm done, I just simply remove it from the fire. So Stanley Cup, one of my favorite things to cook over fire with and to use out here in the woods. Future videos on that coming, guys. I got some cool stuff with the Stanley Cup. But okay, so I've got that hanging over the fire. Maybe I just want to heat something up. I don't want it down in the flames, or again, flames are coming up high. You just raise it up simply by moving that back. And I want to get water boiling quick. I need some hot soup, some hot cocoa, something. I'll just move this forward. And now it's right down in the flames. And when it's done, I simply lift it off the fire and rotate it around, and I'm good to go. So again, and like I said, we'll go make one. I did this one in bright orange cordage so that it could be seen easily on camera. But just a Y stick hammered into the ground beside your fire. Make sure that you get your wind direction down so when you're cooking, the smoke's not blowing back in your face. I've got the wind actually taking the smoke on up that way. Another stick, 2 or so feet long. Carve a notch here for your pot, carve a notch here to tie your cordage on, and you're good to go. So let's go make a dingle stick. Okay, I got my components for a dingle stick. Basically a couple limbs off a fir that was dying, and one of them has a nice little Y to it. This stick here is just about right for length, and that will fit down in here in the Y. And just like before, once we have a string attached, we'll adjust our height. So basically all that's to it, you need a good Y stick, and then turn one end into a point that so you can hammer this into the ground next to your fire. And I usually do this with my hatchet, but you know, I always have my Essie Hunglis on my side, and it works perfectly for this as well. So I'm not going to make it real pointy because I don't want it to break off. So that right there will work. And then I'll take I'll probably square this off a little bit so that it doesn't split. I got one side on the Y a little taller. And just going to square that off some. And then hammer it into the dirt right next to the fire. So the other piece you need will be the piece I dangle the pot from. And I'm just going to make a notch that my cordage won't slip out of. A V notch is fine, 7 notch. You can make, or you can carve all the way around, whatever you like. You just don't want your cordage to be able to slide off the end and lose your pot in the fire. And that right there, just about good enough. Okay, that'll work. There's something to tie off to. So there'll be a piece of cordage running from this end, so I'm gonna have to make another notch down here. This will be my, actually my pot will be hanging up here on this end. There we go. So my pot's going to be hanging off this end. I had it turned around, and I need a piece, make a notch around here and a notch up here so that my string will tie here to here. So let's go ahead and do this one first. And again, it's just, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just a little bit of a notch that when you tie your cordage around, it's not going to be able to slip up out of there. Oops, cut a little too far on that one, took the side off. There we go. So it's not going to go anywhere. And somewhere down in here, still a little cold out here. My when the knife blade is really cold, it's right around freezing, and my thumb's getting cold every time I touch that. I got a piece of bank line for this one. Like I said, on the other one I used bright orange parachute cord so that you guys could see it real easy. But I actually prefer bank line because it sticks to itself. And when you tie a knot, it cinches down on itself really well, and it won't go anywhere. Just about got that where it'll work. Okay, that's not going to go anywhere. All right, now on the cordage, you just kind of got to play with it a little bit. You'll be able to tell as soon as you get it tied off. and you hammer this down, or even just hold it there by the fire. If your cordage is a little too short and you can't get it down, you know, leave a little extra on when you tie it on, then you can just untie it, make your cordage a little longer, and if you've got it too long, just tie your knot a little shorter. So we'll make this a little long. And tie this off on the first little notch I made. Just a simple overhand knot. Like I said, bank line cinches down on itself really, really nice. Okay. And probably something like this. I've got extra back here if I need to make it longer. And maybe on your back knot, don't cinch it down real tight to start with until you're absolutely sure that you've got the cordage where you want it, and then cinch it down. And there you go. So I'll hang my pot off this end. The weight will hold it down, and then adjust my height over the fire by moving this forward. If I want it down in the coals, if I need to raise it up, move this back, move it clear back here. I'll probably actually would shorten my cordage about another inch. It's just a little bit too long on this one. And then when I'm done cooking, lift this off the fire. So all I need to do is tap that down into the dirt, and I got a dingle stick. It's a super easy thing to make, but like I showed you over there by the fire, it's so easy to work with because just, you know, forward and back, you adjust your height down in the coals or up out. And when the meal is done, just lift it up out of the Y, turn it out, set it down, and set your stick off to the side till it's time to make the next meal. Dingle stick, Ochiko Bushcraft. Thanks, guys.